Hey, you guys, how are you? How are you? How are you? So, listen, I want to come back tonight and talk to you. Those of you that are joining me on my YouTube, thank you so much for being here. For those of you that are joining me on my podcast, Funnel by Design, this is going to be a very important conversation that I want each and every one of you to take notes. I want you to take notes. I want you to really evaluate and assess where you are within your organization. And I want you to ask questions. This is your time to get the knowledge, the clarity, the information that you're going to need to not only start your nonprofit organization, but really push it into the place where funding exists. All right. Today, we're going to talk about why trying to figure it out on your own is costing your organization money. I'm going to say something that most of you, most nonprofit leaders don't want to hear. All right. I'm going to say something that most of you don't want to hear. Now, what's new about that, right? But let me say this. For those of you that started your nonprofit organizations on your own, right? You started your nonprofit organizations because you really did have, and you do have the passion, have the desire, have the burden to really want to make a difference in your community, right? And that is all commendable. It is all very notable and noble. Okay. But I'm going to say something that most of you may not want to hear. Trying to figure out on your own is probably the reason your nonprofit organization is still struggling financially. And I'm not saying that because you're not capable. I'm saying that because you were given incomplete information from the beginning. When most people start a nonprofit, they're told file the paperwork, create the program, start serving the people, and then apply for grants. I hear some people are told start your nonprofit, file the paperwork, get your name out there for 3 years, right? Start serving the people for 3 years, and then apply for grants. And that sounds like a complete plan. But what that actually creates is the disbelief that you're doing it wrong, right? Following that advice, it creates a belief that you can do it yourself. And on the surface, that feels empowering, right? I started my nonprofit, I started my program. I built a board, I put together my bylaws, I put together my website. And so you begin to feel empowered, like I'm doing something, I'm making it happen. But this is the reality. And what keeps most organizations stuck. Let me show you what it looks like. All right. Let me show you what it looks like. This is what you do. You start your program, you launch your program, and you begin serving people. And then you try to raise money. You apply for grants, you watch videos, and you might even take some courses. And then when it doesn't work, when you're not raising the funding, right? When you're not getting the grant, when your board is not helping you, when you can't find board members, when you can't find the partners or the collaborators or the sponsors, when you find out that you're doing everything by yourself, you tell yourself, I just need to figure it out. I just need to figure it out. I just need to do more research, right? And this is where the real pain starts. This is where the real pain starts, right? You've launched your program, you're doing the work, you're doing everything by yourself, you've got your paperwork, you got your bylaws, and you feel like I'm doing it until you can't get funding. You can't get a grant. You can't get a board. You don't have a plan to raise money. You don't know how to raise money. You're doing everything by yourself. You're paying for everything out of your pocket. And this is where the real pain starts. You now start feeling frustration. confusion, there's inconsistency. And now you're second guessing yourself. You're wondering, oh my gosh, is this too hard? You're wondering, did I do the right thing? You're wondering, will people like this? Or is my program one that people will support? You begin to second guess yourself, right? So now you start trying different strategies that don't stick. You're changing your mission. You're redoing your mission. You're redoing the website. You're getting a new board. You're trying it, and adding a program. You're trying different things, but nothing sticks. You're funding everything out of your pocket. You're starting and then you're stopping. Everything is inconsistent. And you feel like you're doing everything, but nothing is working. And over time, that turns into burnout, right? I'm taking grant writing classes. I'm taking a fundraising class. I'm taking a board development class. I'm doing all these things. I'm researching. I'm asking cousin Chad, how do I raise money? I'm in these groups trying to get information. I'm trying to network with other organizations, but nothing is working. And over time, that turns into burnout, discouragement. Let me explain why this mindset keeps you from raising money. Because from your perspective, you're doing everything you're supposed to do, right? I got my 501c3. I'm doing my program. My program is helping people. I'm doing the work. You feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to do. But from the funder's perspective, your organization is not ready. What the funders, the donors, the supporters, the contributors, the grant funder, the sponsors, what they are looking for is not the program. What they are looking for is clarity, structure, consistency, accountability. They're looking for measurable outcomes. But what they see in most nonprofit organizations is unclear messaging, inconsistent programs, no defined system, no financial structure, and an organization or operations that are dependent on the persons that started it, right? You're running everything, you're doing everything. And so they don't fund it. Let me define structure. Let me explain what structure is in a way that actually makes sense, okay? Because if you guys have been following me for any period of time, you've heard me talk about structure, all right? Structure, your nonprofit is structured to raise money. How many of you guys have heard me say that, right? Your nonprofit is structured to raise money. So what is structure? Structure is not the paperwork. Structure is not your 501c3. Structure is not your program. Structure is how your organization operates, not your program. How your organization operates, not your program. How your organization operates. Structure is how your funding is generated. Structure is how your programs are delivered consistently, how outcomes are tracked, how decisions are made, how your organization functions without depending on you. It is the system that makes everything work together. And this is important because many of you think if my program is good, I can get funded. Because somebody said, start nonprofit, you can get a grant. right? So your idea is, if I start my program and my program is good, I can get funded. I can get a grant. I can get donors. I can get supporters. I can get sponsors because my program is good. But that's not how it works. The funders fund organized systems, clear models, proven outcomes, strong leadership structures, financial accountability. They fund organizations that can manage money, not just need money. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And again, this confusion is caused by incomplete information. And this is the reason that is so frustrating for so many of you. It's because you were told something different. You were told, start a nonprofit, get your paperwork, apply for a grant, raise donations. But what you were not told is how to build the organization behind all of that. And that's why you feel like I'm doing everything right, but it's not working. So let's talk about what the real cost of this is. What is it costing you? For many of you, it's costing years of time. It's costing missed funding opportunities. It's costing you personal financial strain, stress, and burnout. And for some of you, you've been in this cycle for years. Y'all, it breaks my heart. The number of people who gets on my phone that say, Jen, I've had my nonprofit for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years more, and I've been funding everything out of my pocket. We don't have any donors. We don't have any supporters. We don't have any, I can't get a grant. And this goes on for years. What changes everything? This is what changes everything. You're trying to figure it out. What is going to change everything is you stop trying to figure it out. That's going to change everything. Because trying to figure it out on your own is not working. For some of you, you need to stop trying to figure it out and start building the structure correctly. That's the only thing that's going to change. That's the only thing that's going to change everything is you stop trying to figure it out and start building the structure correctly. What does this do? When you stop trying to figure it out on your own, and when you start building the structure correctly, what does that do? It creates clarity. It builds consistency. It increases community trust. And it positions your organization for funding. When your structure is built correctly, everything starts to align. Everything. Right now, nothing is aligning. I don't have a board, Jen. I don't have any donors. I don't have any supporters. I don't have a budget. I don't know what to do next. I'm doing everything out of my own pocket, Jen. I'm doing everything by myself. Everything is a mess. Why? Because you're trying to figure it out on your own. And the truth is this, if you could have, you would have. And until you stop and say, I need to start building this thing correctly, nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to align. Nothing. You've tried everything. You've taken classes, you've taken workshops, you've Googled, you've sat in groups, you've gone to YouTube, you've asked for help, right? You scrolled for hours, you've changed and done and redone, you're bored, you're brainstorming, and nothing is working. Listen, I help people stop guessing and see exactly what you're missing. Many of you have to make a decision. I got to stop guessing. I'm guessing. I don't know what I'm doing right or wrong. I don't know how to navigate. I don't know what sequence. I don't know what to do first, second, or third. I'm just guessing. And nothing will change until you decide I need to stop guessing and start building this thing right. I need to examine what is missing and what do I need to put in order. That's the only thing that's going to change. And for those of you who are ready, I'm helping organizations put their structure together now. It's only $1,500. This is not just ideas. Did you hear what I said? This is not ideas. This is your structure to raise money. This is not ideas. This is not information. This is the structure to raise money. Structure is not an idea. It's a system that creates predictable revenue. It's not an idea. It's a structure. Okay? Listen, you don't have a funding problem. You have a structure problem. And trying to figure it out on your own is costing you more than you realize. Right now, I only have spots. I've got 3 spots left for this current training where I'm helping organizations put together their structures so that you know what it takes, that you have what it takes to raise money. This is not information. This is structure. When you are ready to put the structure together, when you are ready to stop guessing, when you are ready to make a change, then we can put your structure together. Right now, I am working with organizations. I only have spots for 3. And over the next 2 weeks, we're putting your structure together. When you are ready, if you are ready, I hope you're ready. I would love for you to be one of those 3 organizations. I'm working with a group of 12, and we're building their organization's fundraising strategies. It's not a guess. It's a structure. It's a system. It's a predictable system. When you're ready to stop guessing, let me know. I hope that this information has been helpful. I want to thank you for listening. Reach out and say, Jen, I want one of those spots. Once those 3 spots are gone, the 3 spots are gone. But I can offer you other ways that my team and I can put your structure together for you to raise money for your nonprofit organization. Don't give up. Get clear. Don't give up. Get clear. Don't give up. Get your structure in place so that your organization can have the resources, the money, the cash that it needs to do the program, the operations, and that you can increase the number of people that you serve and truly impact the people in the way that you desire to. Okay? Without the money, the program can't exist. I'm here to help you raise the money. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.